Good morning, my fabulous fifth graders. I hope you are doing well today. We are about to start lesson 4 in our art class today. We are going to be learning a lot about germs. Did you know that there's good germs and bad germs? I hope you've enjoyed the video that you saw when you opened up your presentation today. But now we would like to go ahead and take the information that we learned about germs, all the textures and colors that we saw, all the different shapes and varieties, and we're going to use those things that we saw to create a fun project. So here we go. Today, your standard, or what you're going to learn, says that you will be able to name and use some of the elements of art to express your ideas about germs. When the class is over, there are some things that you should be able to do. You will be able to use the element of art line to create organic shapes that look like germs. And you'll be able to learn about how to use lines to indicate movement in your artwork. We're also going to talk a little bit about what organic shapes are. So I hope you're ready to get started. Today, all you will need is your art folder or a white piece of paper and your box of crayons. So let's get started. Okay, so for this lesson, let's talk just a minute about organic and geometric shapes. Organic shapes are shapes that we might see in nature. I think about leaf shapes or maybe a spiral shape of a snail, or maybe even a branch shape, okay? Those are shapes that we really can't put a name on. Sometimes we have to say what the object is versus what the shape is. Geometric shapes are those shapes that you have been learning about since you were in kindergarten, like a circle or a triangle or square or rectangle. Those are shapes that, that we create that can be more man-made. So for example, organic shapes might look like this. Okay, that's an organic shape. Or maybe it looks like this. Okay? Or maybe it's really, really weird and it looks like this. Or it can even look like this. Does anybody know what this shape kind of looks like? Yeah, this is that COVID germ that we all are really, really tired of. So this is kind of what that germ looks like. Okay, so all these are organic shapes. Okay, we see them in nature. A leaf would be an organic shape. Spiral would be an organic shape. Things like that. The geometric shapes, again, are a triangle. Maybe you can draw a rectangle. What about a square? Squares have equal sides. All four sides are the same. But is a circle a geometric shape? Yes, it is. It's a geometric shape. And what about a star? Star a geometric shape? It's one of those question ones. Have you ever noticed a starfish at the beach? Sometimes a starfish is organic shape. Sometimes when it's drawn very precise like this, we might consider it a geometric shape. So there's some shapes that kind of fall in both areas. So organic shapes, again, are shapes that are found in nature. And geometric shapes are typically shapes that we draw and that we can put a name on. Square, rectangle, triangle, circle, star, maybe even a heart. Okay, so that explains organic shapes. Now, in the video that you watched, you learned about good germs and bad germs and some things that you can do to stay safe at home. So I hope that you guys will wash your hands often, that you will wear your mask when you need to protect others and you, and that you will all stay well and healthy so that we can come back to school again. I would love for us to have fun with this project. So I want to show you what I did. So I looked at the video and saw all those really fun shapes, and then I recreated them in my artwork. And so this is my silly germs. And look, they even look like they're moving. Can you see the little lines that look like they're wiggling? They're wiggling their little tail here. They're moving on the page. Okay, so we're going to learn how to do that today. So open your folder to your 4th page in your folder, and let's get started. Okay, here we go. All right, I would like for you to just draw a simple organic shape right in the middle of your page. Now, I remember seeing a germ that kind of looked something like this. So maybe it looks a little bit like a footprint, or almost kind of like a number 8, doesn't it, if it had the lines that crisscrossed right here. So I'm going to pretend like that's a germ. Then let's create another germ. Let's make this germ look kind of like a circle, but we're going to give it lots of little wiggles in it. So can you create a wiggly circle line for a germ? Good job. All right, let's make one that looks kind of like a little worm. I think I'm going to do him maybe over here. So I'm going to make a wavy line. Remember, we practiced those wavy lines in lesson 2. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go back. And I'm going to kind of do what I did right here. I'm going to go out. Now I need to go down, back out, and then I'm going to kind of come to a point at the end. So that one kind of looks a little bit like a snake, right? So these are some of our germs. Now, if you like, you can actually do a germ that kind of runs off the page of your artwork. So maybe you want to come over here and do a germ that kind of comes into the side of the page a little bit. Now, if you'll notice, I'm not doing germs with straight lines. I'm doing germs that have curves in them. Okay, so keep that in mind as you draw, that your germs are very organic in nature and very smooth and very fluid. They're not sharp edged and straight lines like this. Okay, all right. I'm thinking I may kind of come in through here and do a really big germ. Maybe he hasn't decided what he wants to grow up to be yet. Maybe we've got a germ that kind of looks like an oval. Maybe it looks like a big potato head. So we'll draw that. Maybe we can draw one that kind of looks like a paisley a little bit. And then these are going to be our good germs. So let's come down here in the bottom, and we're going to draw our germ that represents COVID. So COVID is kind of rounded like a circle, but it has these little boots on it. So I'm going to draw a little boot first by making 2 lines that come out like this. And then I'm just going to go around and put an oval from one side to the other. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do those 2 lines again. Go around. And what I'm trying to visualize is I'm going to connect these lines, and I'm going to kind of have a circle right here. I'm going to draw another part of my circle, draw my 2 lines, connect with an oval. Go off my page, 2 lines, connect with an oval, and go off my page. So I now have a germ that looks kind of like COVID. I can even add some of those lines and ovals coming out of the middle of my germ, just like that. Okay, so there's our bad germ. And these are all the wonderful things that live in our body, the organisms that live in our body and the cells that live in our body that fight off the bad germs that come in. So we want to make these really, really fun and really, really beautiful today. And so one way that we can do that is we can add patterns and color. So we have talked about patterns in the past. You guys have done lots of patterns with Miss Madden in the art room. And so we're going to do that today. So I'm going to put down my black crayon, and I am going to move my crayon box over so it's handy. And I'm going to think about what colors might I see? And is there anything else that I can add to my organisms right here that will kind of give them some character? So here we go. I think I'm going to start with Mr. Potato Head down here. And I think I'm going to give him some spots. So I'm just going to add a little circle right here. Maybe even add part of a little circle up there, because remember, sometimes we don't see the whole pattern because it's on the other side away from us. Let's do that down here, one over here. Oh, I like him already. Okay, now I'm going to pick a really pretty yellow, and I'm going to fill in the inside of my green circles. If you don't like yellow, you could pick another color. Maybe you like purple or red. So you do not have to use the same colors that I do. You can use whatever colors you like for your germs. I just wanted to show you how I'm coloring those in. So I think I'm going to make this germ a light green. Kind of looks like a Large Raider germ, doesn't it? Okay. So we've got one germ covered. Maybe this germ doesn't move very much. This germ right here looks like it would really move. So let's do some color on it. What if we decided to do some red? Now, the funny thing about germs is they do not have eyes like we do. So we don't really need to put an eye and a mouth on them if we're wanting to draw realistic germs. But if we're wanting to draw some silly germs like in the video that we watched, then absolutely you can add some eyes to your germs. You might want to add eyes with your black crayon and a mouth if you like. So, all right. Now, before I color in this little germ or this little body, I think I'm going to create some little things coming out of his body. So maybe these are some little hairs that help this germ, or maybe this is a good cell, help this good cell to move throughout the body. So there he is with his little fur, or his little tiny hairs coming out of his body. Now I want to create some movement. I want it to look like this little fella is moving along on the page. So I'm going to use lines to indicate movement. Now we're going to pretend like these are inside the body. So you will have lines that kind of flow in the same direction as your art. So these little lines right here, then you have little lines over here. Maybe you got a couple back here, a couple over here. So it makes it look like your artwork is, or your animal is moving, or organism, whatever it might be. So that creates your movement lines. You can create movement lines all over your artwork. So if I want this one to look like it's moving, I could even have little lines coming off the end, lines coming off right there, and that creates a little movement in this particular organism. Now, maybe I want this one to just have lines on it. Okay. Maybe he doesn't have any of those little fuzzy things coming out. And then I think I'm just going to make him a blue color. So I use the dark blue to make those little lines, and a lighter blue to color it in. So this is your Germs on the Move. I think if you want to do COVID, you could color this red. Each of the little boots that sticks out. I don't know why I say boot, but it kind of reminds me of a boot. Each of these, and most of the illustrations that I've seen of COVID appear to be red, but again, this is just someone drawing what this virus looks like after they've seen it under a microscope. Okay, so there's your COVID. So go back and add some color and movement lines to some of your organic shapes to create your crazy germs on the move today. And I cannot wait to see your finished project. I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Good luck.